Hi, I'm David Vai, Microwave Journal editor, and I'm sitting here with Bob Donahue, who is the CEO of Anokiwave. Bob and I have known each other for probably about 25 years through the industry, and Bob's doing some very exciting stuff with Anokiwave.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for inviting me on here. I'm the CEO of Anokiwave. Prior to that, I was the Chief Operating Officer and Chief Strategy Officer of MACOM Technology Solutions, and prior to that, I was the Chief Strategy Officer of WIN Semiconductor in Taiwan. You and I know each other from work at Raytheon and MACOM, and I worked at Hittite, WIN Semiconductor, and Anokiwave since then.
So you've been in the industry for a long time. We've seen a lot of evolution from back in the days when we were kind of working on aerospace and defense contracts to the whole wireless revolution that took place in the 90s. And what do you see are some of the industry trends that are taking place now?
So that's a great question, Dave. We see that there are 4 mega trends that we think are happening right now. Our vision, and what they are, is everyone sees that there's an insatiable demand for bandwidth, or for actually data rates increasing. People are predicting a 1,000x increase in data rates by the end of the decade. So everyone sees that. There's a second one that's more subtle, which is Moore's Law is coming to a theater near us in the microwave world. Okay, we've seen, and actually in the Microwave Journal, you can see articles now up to 100 gigahertz and 94 gigahertz where people are doing commodity silicon, not even the advanced nodes at 94 gigahertz. And so this is outrageous, the way it can change the industry. A third trend is actually, it's now the dawn of the AESA. When we joined MACOM way back when, it was actually supposed to be the dawn of the ESA back then. But now what we're seeing is that in handheld units, by the end of this decade, you will find millimeter wave AESAs in every handset around the world. And so that is earth-shattering for us. And the last one is driven by the increasing digital drive up the food chain. Is the fourth trend is modern architectures. We think that these 4 mega trends will radically change the industry forevermore by the end of the decade.
Why don't we talk a little bit about that? Well, how is Anokiwave structured? What's your business outlook? How are you going to be able to address the commoditization of all these technologies that you just described?
So the central theme on all that is the commodity may be a technology, but putting all the value into the chip is not. That's the secret in the sauce. So we're a fabless semiconductor. The business model is well known. So we do customer-funded, NRE-driven, customer-funded product development. We do system design and IC design for our customers, microwave and millimeter wave. And we also, at the MTT, will be launching our first standard products, and you'll see it first in the Microwave Journal.
Okay, great. Yeah, well, we look forward to that. I like what you said, that the products might be commoditized, but the engineering isn't. So maybe why don't we talk a little bit about the firepower you have at Anokiwave, the engineering, what's the background there, what gives you claim to having great engineering capacity?
Thank you, Dave. So what I'll say is our differentiator in that respect is I oftenly joke that we have more PhDs than the Mayo Clinic at this point in time. But in the last 6 years, the company has done 14 highly integrated millimeter wave chips. They've all taken between 1 to 1.5 passes in design. So what we've quantified the value proposition down that we can get to market with our customers 50% at the rate of anyone else. So that's literally a cost savings of 2 in NRE, a time to market savings of 50%. And we've also quantified our chip sizes are about 50% smaller than what anyone else has done for these equivalent products. So that's data from 14 chips. We'll have 6 more millimeter ICs. So the whole core is this millimeter core IC that we developed that's highly integrated and very compact and very low cost because the underlying technology is available anywhere and low cost.
Well, I imagine to make that achievable, there's quite a bit of infrastructure behind Anokiwave. How long has Anokiwave been around?
So Anokiwave, actually, we're entering our 15th year. Okay. So we're actually an early stage company, not a startup company. Slight difference there. It means we already have an infrastructure in place. But it was a year ago the founder decided to refound the company and to drive it as a product company and to scale up. So that was what we did. And we feel very strongly that what we care about are what we call the 4 points of our compass. Okay? And so that's customers. Nothing happens without customers. In the almost 15-year history of the company, we've only had successful engagement with our customers. So we pick our customers very carefully and we commit everything to them. The second is employees. That's all we have in our company is employees. We don't have a fab. So we're asset light. Next are suppliers. Our suppliers enable us. So strategic relationships with suppliers are very important to us. And lastly, the shareholders. Actually, we're a 100% employee-owned company.
Okay. Let's talk about your customers, okay? Who is the ideal customer for what you do? And maybe you can walk us through how you move from initial engagement to the services that you provide.
Great question, Dave. We typically start off going in and working with a customer. The customer profile that we look at is someone who's building terminals, all right? They could be military, it could be commercial, it could be a radar, it could be a radio. And our goal is to go in and help them redesign their front end, okay, and to drive everything that we can onto a low-cost silicon core chip. Okay, so that's what we do. We partner with them up front on the system architectural design, and then we understand what fits on the chip and what doesn't, and then we go through and execute a development as quickly as possible to make it successful. It drives their cost down and their features and functionality and performance higher.
Okay, so you've got a silicon core IP with gas front end, or what's the architecture that you're...
It's very true. We also do 3.5 front ends.
Okay.
Gas, GaN, it could be either one. Our vision of the world is, let's take, for example, an old TR module, right, which would have 6 gallium arsenide chips in it.
Okay.
The new gallium arsenide module will have a 3.5 front end, GaN primarily, sometimes gas. Okay. But on the backside, what you'll have is, and it's for an AESA, what you'll have is everything else will be driven onto a silicon core chip. And what's actually a huge value add is that this silicon core chip doesn't just support one radiating element. It can support 4, it can support 8, it can support 12. We've done actually 12 radiating elements with one core chip at this point. So it's and I think that you'll see that coming out in your magazine pretty soon as well. So that's a huge value creation.
So your key strengths, partnerships, your suppliers, your technology inside and the way that you work with customers. What might be an average time? Because you did mention time to market. What might be the timeline on an engagement from initial engagement to product release? On an average, taking out, the negotiations. And
it's typically between 1 to 2 years, and it averages maybe about 1.5 years to go with a highly integrated silicon core chip with maybe 15, 20, 30 functions on board from start to release.
Okay. I guess the last thing, a couple things, your 5-year outlook for growth and your trajectory for the company?
Sure, certainly. What I'll say is the company, what we're targeting is to be between $150 to $200 million and 65% gross margin. We'll do that one customer at a time. Okay. What I'll say also is that in the last 12 months, the company's revenue has gone 2.5x. The team of people have gone 4x. The customer base has gone 5x. We run profitably. We're 100% employee owned, and we're on a roll. Okay,
so you've been around for a while, but last year was a big transition year. You're coming out and you're ready to explode.
Just like the microwave industry, we've hit the reset button.
Excellent, excellent. And so you'll be at IMS, and that's where people can come by and meet you in person and talk more detail about what their needs are and what you have to offer.
Yes, please come and visit us at IMS. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Dave. It's great to be here.